Hello there. Today I'm with the great Mason Bynes. How are you?
Doing great. Nice to be here. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great as well. So let's just hop right in. What initially drew you to the conservatory?
Yeah, so I went to the conservatory to get the Master of Music and Composition, and I really enjoyed it because of the way that it was merged with Berklee. When I got out of my undergrad, I knew how to write music and I knew how to collaborate, but I didn't have any business skills. So it was really great to be able to find like opportunities at the college that could reinforce what I was learning and what I was doing at the conservatory.
I see. So, speaking on that, like, how would you describe your overall experience there? And would you say that there were any notable moments or teachers?
Yeah, I would definitely say I benefited a lot from studying with Marty Epstein. She is one of the composer faculty members, both at the college and the conservatory. And working with her, it was great to be able to work with someone that could help you iron out your compositional process. She's an amazing composer, but such a strategist also. So it was really great to be able to work with her on thinking about those ideas. And I really enjoyed some of the seminars that we had also at the conservatory, where they would invite certain composers or ensemble collectives or performers that would want to perform some of your music or do a reading of some of your music. So those qualities of the program I really enjoyed.
Hmm, cool, cool. That sounds amazing, actually. So how did you go about finding your community at the conservatory?
hmm Well, I will say it was really hard because that first semester I was in person and then everything was shut down for the rest of the program. So that was really hard to deal with. But that first semester, I was really aggressive about finding the right type of people to network with, to collaborate with. So when I got here, I had to figure out a job opportunity. So that's when I got my graduate assistant and employee relations position at the Career Center. And that just opened up so many doors to this job. I didn't think that was going to happen, but to this job, but then also like just collaborative opportunities. Like with that role, I was able to meet a couple of different people within like Disney executives and being able to go out to dinner with them and learn about the process and have some great connections that way, or different composers that we're visiting. I had to send like certain correspondent type of emails or sit in on meetings. And like that was so helpful in forming those relationships. But also at the conservatory, in addition to being like a composer, I'm also a classically trained vocalist. So when I was there, I tried to get every single ensemble opportunity to have that community because I love performing, but also to really advocate for myself as a composer and meet like-minded people who wanted to collaborate in that way, both compositionally and as a performer. So I feel like being able to have both of those avenues opened up so many doors and established so many different types of connections with people.
I see, I see. I do agree with you on the fact that it's important to really put yourself out there as much as possible, especially when you're starting out. So, yeah, I
Oh, for
agree
sure.
on
And
that.
yeah, just to go on that too, that's the beauty of this program. I mean, that's really why, initially you asked like why I chose the conservatory, and it's because of the network, like there's so many different opportunities to network with people, and not in the, cocktail and dress version of networking. It's how many like performance opportunities can you leverage? How many clubs can you be a part of? What, performing ensembles are you in? Who can you write for? Who can you collaborate with? So it's a really rich environment of people at the college and conservatory.
Yeah. Would you say that the conservatory successfully prepared you for the real world, and how so?
I would say that the conservatory helped me to understand how to collaborate. There were a lot of different collaborate as a composer. There were different, student performances that you could do. They call them the CRS, like composition recital series, where every semester you have maybe one or two performances there. So that was nice. And then also being able to learn how just to write for different instrumentations of ensembles, because there were a lot of different types of visiting artists that came to the seminar that were asking for calls for scores. So I'd say the conservatory helped me to understand how to leverage compositional opportunities when it relates to collaboration. And then my graduate assistantship opportunity at the Career Center allowed me to apply that in a business sense. So not only was I able to meet and network in a compositional academic performance type of environment with people, but then I was able to really leverage the business side of things when you're having to correspond with employers that, are wanting to offer opportunities within their sector of the industry. So it was definitely just trying to figure out how to leverage both sides of that experience at the conservatory.
Hmm. So speaking of, compositions, do you have any projects that you're currently working on that you'd like to share?
I do, yeah. So this weekend, actually, February 19th, I'm doing a composer in residence series with a group called Boston Art Song Society. And they've been performing a couple of pieces from my catalog, and then I'll be having a commission with them on a new work in April. But there's a concert with them Saturday night this week at 7:30. And then on Sunday of this upcoming week, I have a classical guitar piece that's going to be released through as a visual album and documentary in partnership with the University of Texas and a group called XIQUO. So that's going to be fun. I have an orchestral score that's coming out with a chamber orchestra named Parlando in New York in April. So that's going to be fun. And then I have one other project with a group called Wind Sync. They're in wind ensemble, wind quintet, and they did an arrangement of a piece that they commissioned me to write that will be arranged for the Houston Youth Symphony, and a couple others going on through the year. But that's what's happening right now. Really exciting.
I'm excited for you, and I'm really psyched to hear how these compositions turn out. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
And finally, do you have any advice for current or future students?
Oh, yes. We always have a lot of advice as being advisors in the office, so it's hard to tie it down. I guess like a overarching type of consistent piece of advice to just think about always is how well you can know yourself.
Hmm.
You know, I know that there's so many resources and events and people and opportunities that are at the college and the conservatory that can be really overwhelming. But if you're able to really hone in on who you are and how to really develop that and really understand it so that you know exactly what your goals are, what you're striving for, what your goals are not, and what you are not striving for, so that you can really come out of your program feeling accomplished, but also really knowing yourself and knowing what it is you want and who it is you want to become.
I think that's a great piece of advice, and I agree too. And with that, I'd like to thank you once again for joining us for Alumni Talk, and I hope you have a great week.
Thanks for inviting me.